talent every single time. Introducing the new BF Goodrich All-Terrain KO3 tire. Legendary toughness made tougher. BF Goodrich, what are you building for?
Yeah, hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Fishgistics, the San Felipe 250 Score San Felipe 250 wrap-up show. My name is Cameron Steele, and I am cursed once again to be partnered up with Austin Fish Farner here for the wrap-up show. Fish, how's things going, buddy?
It's good. It's good. Thanks for making it happen once again. Thanks for everybody for coming on the show. We wouldn't have a show if all you guys didn't join. So we're stoked to do it.
Well, it's certainly fun to talk a little bit about the racing, what happened at the race, and hear some of the stories. I think that's kind of the key, right? Get a little bit of a personal feeling for how everything's going for each person, but also gives us a good view of the overall state of our sport. So I think it's worth our time to come in here and share a little bit. Fish, you got a lot of sponsors behind your head. It looks like things are going good for Fishgistics and Austin Farner. I think you have big news this week. Some things changing for you as far as it comes to swinging the clubs, right?
Yeah. The golf tournament, our Fishgistics golf tournament, I turned it over to the Off-Road Hall of Fame. So Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame is now going to be running that tournament. It's cool. They bring a bunch of people to help. So instead of just me trying to do everything, I got some help now. So yeah, it's coming up June 27th, I think it is. And go to Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame's website if you want to play. I think there's a couple foursomes left, and that's it.
Right on. I know Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame's hot on topic for a few people because I think today is the final day. I think the applications are already all in, and I think all the letters come in today. I don't know when the voting happens. Maybe you know, Fish, when all that happens? Oh, not a word. All right. Well, and for those of you that don't know, the San Felipe 250 just happened in Baja California in the northern state. And it was a glorious Sea Cortez morning for most of the week, but it was a little bit hot. We had some temperatures down there. Pretty interesting. We went on our annual Ripped Cabo ride much earlier this year, and we were caught by some really hot temperatures as well, actually 2 weeks before in San Felipe. So a little bit of a weather change up for some people, but I think a lot of good things did come out of the race. Obviously, the bike split course, I think, is great news. I think a lot of great competition. We'll talk about all these different aspects. And right now we have the UTV category represented very well here. Brock Hager, who is first Open Pro, first overall. I think we're getting used to talking about that. We'll berate him, talk a little crap, and have some fun with him shortly because we know we can make him smile when we talk a little bit of trash. Dallas Gonzalez is here as well. Third Open Pro, a brand new car. Didn't even drive it before the race, I heard. That's a pretty good stat. Caden Wells, first forced induction. Is that how we say that? Is that the actual name of the class, Fish?
Yeah. Well, here it is. Every series has a different name. So here in Mexico, yeah, it's forced induction class, the Pro Turbo class, whatever you want to call it.
Right on. Yeah, his pre-runner car turned into a race car, and we'll talk about that situation. Craig Scanlon, one of the heroes of our sport, joins us first in pro stock in a brand new car. Also, Craig, it's great to have you here. First of all, let's say hi to everybody. Craig, howdy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. You can see behind me the number 16 was making dust out there. Didn't get to the finish line. We'll talk about that later when we get to the trophy truck segment. So I've been over here crying my eyes out a little bit for the last week and a half. But I did go on vacation with the family, which was super nice after about a month in Mexico. So thanks for asking. And Kate, how you doing, buddy? Oh, unmuted, muted.
There we go.
I'm doing good.
Right on. You got a lot of trophies around you there. It looks like you've been doing really good. We'll get back to that shortly. Dallas, welcome to the show. I think this is your first time on Fishgistics.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
Right on. Well, we're stoked to have you here. Congratulations on your success. Don't be afraid to give Fish a hard time. He likes it. He thrives on it. And if you ever get the opportunity to take him in a wrestling match, please feel free. Welcome, Brock. How are you, buddy? Looks like you had to work for this one a little bit.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, Cameron. Thanks, Fish, for having us. It's always fun to join the shows, listen to all the smack talking that you guys tend to put on.
And speaking of smack talking, let's cover this really quick. This is all opinion based, of course. If you want real facts, I'd search the internet because I really don't know if we're going to give you exact facts, yes or no, maybe. but I want to let you know it's opinion based. So don't get upset. Don't get your panties in a bunch, and try to have fun with it because that's what we're doing, right, Fish?
Yeah, yeah. And one other note on that, if you're mad because you didn't get invited on the show, I'm sorry. I can't have everybody from every class in the world on here. We try to mix it up a little bit, but if you get a podium position, that's how you get on the show a lot of times. So just keep that in mind. If you didn't get an invite, it's nothing personal.
And worth mentioning, some invites did go out. Sometimes they're not seen on the DMs and direct message.
Yeah.
So pay attention out there. And if you have future aspirations to be on Fishgistics, ping Fish anytime. Don't bother me because I only am here once in a while. You know, I don't answer all those calls and messages.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some racing. UTVs, man, these things are pretty amazing. And Brock, you've been telling quite a great story. Good job with that giant background in the back there. Hope you're getting paid by the minute on that. I like it. Things have been good for you. Any changes for you lately? That's what I want to ask because, you know, when it keeps rolling and you're winning and you're winning and you're doing great, do you mess with it or you just leave it alone and keep doing the same formula?
I mean, why fix something that's wrong? Yeah, I mean, we're just chugging. The Players Factory Racing team works their butt off. You know, they've been getting customer cars. Obviously, Dallas just getting into one. So, you know, it's cool to see, you know, me and Caden and you know, Joe and Ethan put in a lot of effort to those cars to go to market. So it's cool to see people getting into them, having a lot of success with them right out of the go. And at some point, I'm probably going to be really bummed when they start, you know, beating us.
It's a pretty interesting concept, and Fish, you could probably weigh in on this as well. But Brock, having cars that are coming out of the shop, customer cars that are, I don't know if they're exactly the same. I'm not involved, but it's got to be pretty interesting to see cars lining up right next to you. You're like, huh, kind of looks a lot like my race car.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I mean, that's why we're doing it, is just to get, you know, people in, you know, the same exact cars that we have. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see, you know, how everyone kind of wraps them, gives them a total different look. And it's been fun. And hopefully we can get some more out there and doing good.
Copy. Did you get to choose your yellow color, or was that assigned by the powers that be over there at the team?
They've all the colors were assigned to everyone. So
Well,
we don't get a pick.
I just want to tell you that yellow is my favorite color, so keep rocking. I think it's a good thing, and I think the photographers like it too because it pops really well in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, I've started to like it a lot more, and you know, sometimes like in the States when we're qualifying and you know, you go out early, you're like, geez, I'm like a highlighter. I can't do anything shady because all eyes are on the bright yellow. But no, it's fun. I like it. It's cool seeing the different colors. We're like the Skittle team out there, and cool to see everyone else's different wraps.
I like the Skittles comment. For me, I'm a little bit older. Maybe Craig can play in on this one, but the Power Rangers, you know, the different color Power Rangers. Craig, are you old enough for that? I see the gray.
I'm plenty old enough for that one, buddy.
Yeah. Well, Craig was part of the whole program when it started. So Craig's one of the ones to assign the color. So if you don't like the color, you can yell at that guy.
Well, that's what I was going to say is Craig has now since moved on to other ventures and always leading the charge somewhere. But you were a big part of this team starting up. How did the colors come about, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, originally my car was red because I always have a red car. So that was an easy one. The other three colors, there was a lot of debate on it. And I'll be honest with you, the yellow one was more of a neon yellow because it was like, we can't be Can-Am, obviously. But and then the one that was like a big argument was the purple one. And I'll be honest with you, back at the time I was very much against purple. Because I'm like, who's going to want to drive the purple car? And Caden's like, I love purple. So it all worked itself out. But I will tell you, like, it just goes to show, like, you know, I like red, but the purple, my sons, you know, my high school sons at the time, one's in college now, but they were like, the purple car's cool, you know what I mean? So it's just, you gotta go with, you know, with a little bit of a wide variety so you can get young to old. Because old didn't like purple, but young did, so it worked out.
I think it's all relative, right? Everybody's got a different vibe. My daughters sometimes give me a hard time for loving yellow, but man, yellow is a great color. But I think it's fun to see the identity of the cars play out. And is your new car red? I didn't see your new car.
New cars, yeah, the front
I was-
end,
Because I
the
was
front
standing
end's
next to the
red.
cars for a
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. The going back to that, we originally, like, at one point it was like they should all be exactly the same, but it's like, well, how are we going to identify, like, how are fans going to be able to identify Brock versus Caden versus Ethan versus Joe? So that's how they all became different, because at one point they were all going to be the same.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, Caden, you're the single Can-Am guy here. I had to have Can-Am guys on here too, because everyone always says I'm biased. So we have a Can-Am guy on the show, and you won your class. You came from the back. You took a rear start. You physically passed everybody, and then you won. I mean, how'd you do that, Caden? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we had a pretty clean race, and my plan being in this other car was just to kind of go out there and fill it out and see where we were, and if we were in a position to win it, to go maybe push a little harder. But we ended up getting the lead at mile 130, so had a really clean race. Just a couple little issues, but that was about it.
Caden, what Can-Am are you racing? Is that the Mavar?
Yeah, we're in the Mavar, and it was my race car in 24 in the stock class, and then last year it was my pre-runner, and then now it's back to the race car.
I didn't hear the whole story, but it sounds like you lost your primary race car at King of the Hammers.
Yeah, it just kind of exploded. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, it burned down pretty quick.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I'm glad everybody was okay. That's always tough. So when you get to the races and you have maybe less expectation because maybe you're not driving your primary car, did you feel like a little bit of a like a woosa, like a kind of calm and just get in the car, go drive, not worry about it? And then all of a sudden you're passing everybody in your class. You're like, oh, hey.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just enjoying it and having fun, it seems like you start driving smoother than when you're actually like really pushing hard. So yeah,
I agree
it
with
was a
you.
fun race.
I agree. I felt like we were having a great race and I didn't feel like we were up on the wheel at all. We were just jamming, having fun. And that's how we felt back when we had good success at any of the Baja races, just kind of having a good, fun day. I'm going to bring Dallas in here now. And
He had a good fun day, I think.
yeah, a fun day, right? You landed on the podium was pretty cool. Did you know you had the podium when you're coming to the finish line?
No, it was kind of worked out. It all kind of clicked together, and like 50 miles to the finish, they're like, you guys are sitting third. I'm like, great. And kind of just cruise because I don't like to know where I'm at. I kind of just like to drive and figure it out from there. So it was great.
Yeah, some drivers don't like to give a bunch of information. I personally, I like a lot of information. Doesn't seem to bother me, but I can see where not knowing is good too, because you don't get yourself in a position where you go too fast to try to catch up. You don't go too slow thinking you've got a podium position. So I can see the math on that. Nice, calm, keep the radio quiet, and just go for it.
Yeah, and cross our fingers. That was the only option we had.
Yeah, Dallas actually picked up that car the week before the race, and he had to finish a bunch of the accessories on it, literally in a week, right? And I don't even think he drove it in the dirt, right? Then you just break in the brake pads or something before the race, and that was it.
We broke it in when he got the mail, and I kind of drove it around town in San Felipe once we got down there, but kind of just sent it. I put my brother in the co-driver seat, so I mean, couldn't really expect too much, and it worked out great. No issues with the car. Flawless day. We didn't have to get out once, and I couldn't complain.
So when you have a brand new race car you haven't driven, what do you pre-run in? Are you pre-running something similar, or what's your pre-run status?
Yeah, I just have a Pro R, just a normal off-the-shelf pre-runner, and yeah.
Brock,
Cool.
talking about pre-running, Brock, I was wondering, do you get people trying to follow you around out there on the race course or try to catch up with what you're doing? I watched you go by. I don't know if you saw me, you're probably going too fast, but I was standing on the side of the race course waving at you. But you definitely look like you're carrying a lot of pace when you went by us, and it seemed like you had a really good rhythm in the whoops there and those big yellow whoops. You find people following you around trying to see what you're up to out there?
I mean, no, I think everyone always tries to get people, or people are always trying to follow, but granted, there's a lot of stock two-seat Pro R racers that are out there pre-running. So I kind of just blend in with the rest of everyone, try to fly under the radar a little bit. And I think when I seen you, I was on a mission of some downtime to make up. So just yeah, we pretty much, me and my co-driver Justin just put our heads down and we're just trying to see kind of what we could do to get ourselves back in a good spot.
Can I ask you a tough question?
Always.
The talk has come up, obviously, we're going to talk about this in the last segment about Rob Mack teaming up with Paul Wheel, but there was a mention in the interweb threads that Brock Hager would have been a great choice for Paul Wheel to team up with. Is that something you had any conversation in? Is that something you would consider? I know being a factory Polaris race car driver makes it hard to make commentary about trophy trucks, but is trophy truck something that you're aspiring to in the future, or are you pretty locked in right now, loving the UTV thing?
Yeah, I mean, Paul must have not had the right number. I did granted not get a phone call, but yeah, I mean, it would, obviously, I think anyone that sits in these would say I would love to go race a trophy truck, but at the same time, I'm happy with what I'm doing. It's fun to try to go beat you guys in a vehicle that probably shouldn't be beating you guys at all. So it's a fun challenge there. And then just to everyone getting into the sport, Polarises and UTVs are the intro into off-road racing. So it's fun to, try to sell that to the new people that, this is what I'm doing. This is how you can get into it. Versus saying, hey, go buy a lottery ticket and maybe you'll be able to race a trophy truck one day.
Yeah, and speaking of like entry level and people getting into the sport, Craig, your class was the second biggest class in the race, the pro stock class. So is there a reason why you wanted to race that class? Because obviously you could go race whatever class you wanted. Why did you choose to race the pro stock class?
Honestly, it goes back to I looked at Spec Truck, thought about that for a half a second, and when I think about where I started racing until now. I started in a UTV, when I used to work back at Polaris, and to end the career out, I'm 52 years old. I only have a couple more years left of this. Who knows? I'm not Rob Mack, so I'm not going to be racing, until I'm 80. But it was just one of those things where it was from an affordability standpoint, it was awesome. Every single thing on our pre-runner fits on the race car. So from a parts standpoint, you have all the parts in the truck, but then you have two pre-runners down there. So you're traveling around with a parts vehicle, so to speak. And just for the soul of it, honestly, like, I love the factory team, but that's a factory team that's run completely different. I started racing with a couple buddies out of a pickup truck, right? And the concept of going back to that with all my buddies and my navigator's been with me for a long time, Blake Vanderloo, and we just wanted to go out and have fun and be competitive. And the fact that these vehicles are significantly different than they were, 16 years ago when I started racing UTVs. You can still go 100 miles an hour. That was a big contributing factor. The Pro Art being included in the stock class. If it wasn't, I would have been racing in the stock UTV class. And also went back and looked at the times, like before I decided, I looked at the times from this class from a year ago, and they were the winner was averaging in the top 8 of the unlimited class and was averaging in the top 4 of the turbo class. So it was like, this is a competitive class. So it was pretty good. For me, it was an easy tie-in. I've always raced UTVs, and just getting back to racing for the soul of it, and going down with my buddies and having a good old time.
I mean, I think that's a great thing to talk about when we're talking about off-road racing, because that's the soul of our sport, right? Getting out with your friends. One thing off-road racing has an advantage over so many other sports is that there is reconnaissance and pre-running. You can share that with other people in the car. You have a navigator with you, or a lot of other racing forums do not. A lot of teams have 2 drivers. So there's a lot of sharing and a good camaraderie there. But I love it. Like, I went to the Mint 400. We didn't bring our trophy truck. We brought our 7 truck and raced it in 1450. And yes, we raced our Can-Am. So that was we're really serious about it. And it was a great race. But it's fun to be in that 1450 truck or the 7 truck and just like not have that stress of like, oh man, like we really got to be on point the whole time, even though you're still racing and trying to do it. But having that fun come back to it is also a really cool part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously you want to win every race you're in, but with the factory team, you have to win. Right. And that was a stressor, but it got that, being on my own team again with my buddies, it just comes back to it's winning or losing. It's about the experience. It's the week down there with friends, pre-running, doing all that fun stuff. And if you win, great. If you don't win, it's not a loss. And that was the fun part of it. I would tell you, we are a very, very loose program compared to the factory team. In fact, our Instagram page, we're calling ourselves the unfactory team because we could not be less professional at this point of our team. But we put it together in a month, and went down and raced, and I had more fun racing in that class than I've had in a very, very long time. The other guys and the gals in the class, talking to them before the race and things like that. What a great group of people, and super excited to go race some more with them.
Right on. I like the unfactory class. That's pretty cool. Caden, speaking of factory racers or people that are having fun with the team, where do you land in that? Like, I know you're having fun, but are you with the factory team? Are you more journeyman racer? What's your status right now? Just winning the Pro Turbo class is pretty huge, obviously. What's your status?
I don't know. I'd say I'm in between. No contracts or anything with the manufacturer, but yeah, just kind of right in the middle, enjoying it, doing the best we can. So just having fun with it.
I think you guys are the ones to beat in Baja right now. I mean, at every race, you guys I watched the tracker and you just go straight to the front every race. So it was you and Phil Blurton, and I'm bummed that Phil's not down there this year racing and he's up in the US, but it was always fun seeing you guys, just come from wherever you started and just go right to the front of your class. So that was always fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah, it is good. We're always trying to chase down the open class, and we've had a couple fourths in this race, a sixth overall. So just looking to try to move up if it's possible or not, and keep going.
Well, Brock's going to do everything he can in his will and his power to make it so you can't compete. Just wanted to let you know. He's nice when he's on camera here, but when he puts the helmet on, he's not letting anybody else take the bacon.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of him driving. I'm gonna have to probably need a bigger mechanical to get closer for sure on that one.
Right on. We're gonna wrap up this segment here, UTVs. We love you guys. Love the effort. Let's get a closing thought from each one of you. Really quickly, what would you do different in the state of UTV racing, or what would you change if you could change one thing? And I'm gonna put Caden Wells on the spot first.
I think like a complete full stock class where like the manufacturer has their car and they just put everyone in it, like it might have a cage on it, but that's about it. Like stock tires, stock wheels. I think that would be really like a fun class.
Full production vehicle. What do you think about that, Craig? You're racing in the stock class. Do you think there's legs on it for something like that?
I would love that. The only thing I would add is a fuel cell, just so you don't have to stop every 80 to 100 miles. But yeah, that would be cool.
What would you change if you could, or what would you add to the class, or what's your thought about the current state of UTV racing?
I'd love a class where, I want to see Caden racing Brock. I mean, Caden was talking about Brock's videos. I've watched Caden's videos. Both those guys do some pretty amazing stuff in the cars. Getting the Can-Ams and potentially a Kawasaki and a Polaris, get them all racing against each other. That's going to make these manufacturers compete with each other and get them more involved. The last thing you want to do is separate them so that they can both still claim a win and things like that. You want to create that OEM war so that they pump money into the sport and give it to these guys. We got 3 young drivers on this call, and I will be honest with you, the best in the sport. Caden Wells has been driving for a long time. Brock's been driving, Dallas and his little brother Deegan. I want to see all these guys have a future in this sport and have it live for a very long time. Put them up against each other, let them race, and let Brock win sometimes, Caden win sometimes. But that's gonna keep the money from the OEMs coming back into the sport. I think the way it's set up now is potentially a little dangerous for the future of it, because that's probably why you don't see Blurton down there. That's why Caden's not getting the support he should be getting for all the work he's done and all the accolades he's achieved, because they're not going down and competing for a win versus the manufacturer. They automatically are going to get the win in their class. So I would say that would be the one area that, from a side-by-side standpoint, I would love to see. I would love to see the series and other things come together where it's let's get these OEMs competing against each other, so it makes them more involved.
That's great feedback. I love it, Craig. What about you, Dallas? What would your input be to make the class better or the sport better when it comes to UTV racing, or is there something you would change?
Honestly, I think it'd be cool if we can get a team or company behind it to do like a live stream in top, say, 12 cars, 20 cars, that the average person go on their TV or whatever during a race and go watch, because there's a handful of cars now that have the live stream. And I think if we can get in a lot more cars, it'd bring a lot more fans and people to the track, or basically to our track from home, and see what's going on more.
Give me the cliff notes on the painting behind you.
Yes.
Oh, that one? That is that's from Mario's in San Felipe.
Got
That's
it.
my dad. My dad loves paintings and loves art. So
Right on. Very cool. All right, Brock, pressure's on. Put you on the spot. Best in the sport right now. Would you do anything? Would you change anything? Would you make a comment strongly one way or the other on the state of UTV racing?
Yeah, I mean, I think they all said very good stuff. I think just combining a lot of the classes, it seems like there's, a lot of different classes that claim fame. So just kind of making one ultimate class, and then maybe just creating a super basic stock class just to make it just as easy for people to come out there and go have fun.
Right on. Well, I love it. Thank you, guys. Congratulations to each one of you guys on your individual success. Great job. Getting on the podium in any race is a pretty stellar accomplishment. 3 of you landing on the top spots. Incredible. Dallas, welcome to Fishgistics for the first time. Look forward to seeing more of you guys. And that's going to do it for the UTVs. You guys got to say goodbye now.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys, and congrats on all your guys' wins and success at San Felipe.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to get the Class 1 and Spec Truck guys on here.
Oh, this is always fun when we got this guy, Brendan Gahn, right up there.
Oh, yeah, he's coming.
He comes with a little flavor for sure.
Can't wait to hear the jibber jabber of who Luke McMillan's new Baja 1000 driver is.
Oh, that's the next segment. Maybe we can ask him next segment.
Well, we're gonna ask him. You throwing your hat?
Did he just call you? Did he just call you, Brock?
No, but maybe I'll drive a Razor and a trophy truck at the Baja 1000.
Oh, see now, where was this
See you
earlier?
Nice.
And he signs off.
He's like, I'm out. He's like, you pull the pin on the grenade, drop it in, and I'm gone.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Brock.
All right. So this segment is dedicated to Spec Truck and Class 1 racing. Some of our favorite unlimited racers. Someone's got their mic open, it sounds like, in the background, or a second mic. So you might want to silence what you got going in the background. Welcome to the show. Oh, some heavy hitters. Segment is dedicated to Spec Truck.
Oh, Ray, whatever you're listening to,
Ray.
Going up.
Ray's in big trouble, man. Brendan Gahn, welcome to the show. Your winner in Class 1 Open Buggies, Brad Wilson, runner-up in the Class 1 Unlimited Buggies. And then also want to say hello to Justin Davis, one of the perennial favorites in Spec Truck. I believe he was 3rd this time around, Felipe. And Ray Griffith in his brand new truck, finishing 2nd at San Felipe. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Let's get it started right now with Mr. Funny Pants over here. He's muted currently, so he's going to have to unmute himself. But Brendan Gahn, welcome to the chaos of Fishgistics. I wanted to tell you that if there's a possibility of a 3-man host team, or 3-person host team, I should say, we would possibly consider you to be one of the crew here. Just saying. So don't blow.
I appreciate that, Cam. I thank you very much. I leave that sort of stuff to you. I just like to talk and have fun on my own time, and I got enough shit going on. But no, it was a lot of fun, and it's always fun when I get to join, Fish and you, and especially when we're on a good run. So it's fun to talk about things when you're running well.
It's always good to win, right?
Always feels good to win. It was Brad and I. We both had the joy of victory we had the joy of victory, the sorrow of defeat, and then the joy of victory again for one side. So it was definitely a fun deal. And San Felipe, man, San Felipe delivers, doesn't it? It's such a God. It's wild at San Felipe.
I was gonna ask you, how much did you have to pay Score to give Brad a VCP penalty?
Well, it's funny. I drove over 100 miles alone, and I use lead nav, so I have my notes, but all my good lines were over on the GPS in front of my co-rider. And so there's a couple different times that people were watching the stream, and I'm looking like this. I'm trying to look over because I'm on alternate lines, and I'm like, oh crap, I got no line on the little GPS in front of me. I'm like, I had no clue. I'm like, I hope I don't miss something. And I just kept on digging and figure out what it was. And I talked to Mr. Wilson. He said, you guys, Brad, I guess you went across the dry lake. We're out in the dust or something and just missed the one on the dry lake. So it I mean, look, we're all used to this now, right? We've all become accustomed to, watching VCPs and looking to see what we did and checking things. And they now give us the ability to look and say, well, you missed it by X feet. And most of the time we all look and go, I would say I could have missed that one, possibly.
Yeah, well, we missed an overall podium in San Felipe 2 years ago by 16 feet.
Yep.
So I feel the pain of Brad Wilson. What did Mr. Gone have to say about all of this, Brandon?
Dad, he never won San Felipe, and so he was pretty excited, and he questioned my decision to go with the BFG 42s just because it's a big change to go from in a buggy to go to that 42-inch tire, to go from a 17 to an 18. And so he was a little nervous that we didn't do enough testing and this and that. And I go, Dad, it's us. We don't care. We don't give a shit. If that's what, if BFG wants us on these, we're going to jump on them. And I really got to say thank you to them for letting us do it. And then Method, look, my whole life, we all know Walker and I, Walker was a father figure to me, and Randy Anderson and the Anderson boys and all of us. I mean, I've always had, I haven't bought a wheel, Cam, since American Racing Wheels and Walker Evans. My whole life I've had sponsors, and all of a sudden I got no wheels. I got nothing. I don't even know what'll fit on my 25-year-old, class 1 buggy that can do this. And Method, who I had never met the Method guys, I didn't know a single person there. These guys said, I needed an 18 with this offset, that, and that. And they found an old Pro 4 short course wheel that had the offset that would fit my buggy that they hadn't used in forever. And it worked. And so I appreciate them even working that hard for me. And we got the win on the first race ever out on the BFG 42, and we get the win. They won either way, whether it was Brad or me, they won. So it was a good day, and I got to keep the hat, Brad. I was going to throw it away, but I got to keep it now.
I didn't give mine back. Mine back at the finish because Nate didn't have any at the mid 400 for the Class 12 race. So I said, "You're not getting it back. I'm keeping it." Call it a consolation prize.
Well, Brad, solid race. You did come across in time, but I guess a VCP penalty caught you at the end. Really tough on that lake bed, right? Because the lake bed, to me, I'm not the rules guy, I'm not the enforcer, but the lake bed's kind of the lake bed. But I know you got to stay within a certain parameter because they're worried probably about people being out there. But it kind of feels like one of those washes, like kind of open, like you could be all over the place. So it's a hard spot to get caught out.
Yeah, unfortunately, my co-driver, who did a fantastic jobs race with me for over 10 years, never missed a VCP. He was kind of down on himself at the finish. I told him, I said, hey, this happens. Unfortunately, we were on the lake bed. He was fixing something in his seat, and I was just zoned in on what I saw were tire tracks, and it just kind of started to veer left. And I watched the GoPro footage. We drive over the letter V in VCP on our GPS, but obviously, that doesn't equate to hitting it or not. Couldn't tell because we were going so fast, it's so loud in the cab if the beep went off. They told us it was 100 feet. It is what it is. I knew exactly right when they told us we missed it on the lake bed, I knew which one it was. It happens. I've won San Felipe because someone missed a VCP. Now I've lost San Felipe twice because we missed a VCP. It's one of the harder races to get all of them. And especially since we got in the car so far down on time, Randy, Ronnie, they gave me kind of carte blanche, said, just don't crash. But if you break the car, you break the car. And we kept clicking miles off, getting updates that we were putting time. And I knew that Brendan had his second driver, Tim Wilson, get in, who I don't think had pre-ran. It was more of a backup strategy. So that was
backup to the backups backup.
There you go. I saw him pull up in your pre-runner, and I was like, oh, he's getting in. I don't think he pre-ran, so maybe we can run him down. And we did. But right when we crossed the finish line, they said we won by 2 minutes. I've been in this position before. Don't want to stand on the car again and then get my dreams shattered. So we immediately took the Stella out, ran over. They told us no. Our celebration was all of 3 minutes. And then we're like, okay, it is what it is. We got second. We're happy. Car's good. It is. You didn't find out till the morning?
Yeah, I was in the borderline. I was asleep in the borderline when I got a text message that said Brad missed a VCP, and I go, "What? We won again?" I should have
texted you.
Rolled at mile 10 and let's finish the damn race. I'm getting out of the race car to, oh, I'll take a second because Langley's were so close to the finish and about to win it. To, holy cow, we won. To, second sucks. To, hey, we won again.
Hey, that's a whirlwind of emotions there, but I mean. Yeah, the Class 1 community is like one big family. So, this happens. We go home. We're happy. Everyone's safe. Go to the 500 and battle it out there.
Safety is definitely the biggest thing. Stoked to hear everybody's safe. You guys can hug it out later. Right now, let's get to some Spec Truck dicing up over here. I know you guys love Class 1 cars. And Ray, you had some experience in both. How's the development going with the new truck, and where do you feel like you're at with that? I mean, obviously, I'm
gonna jump in real quick. I just gotta say, Ray, thank you again. He pulled our pre-runner with a blown transmission out of a very bad section where Kyle and Ben were likely going to be spending the night. Okay. Other people stopped and said they weren't going to be able to help, which is very understandable because of how bad it was. But I just want to say, Ray, stand up. I mean, he's like family to us. He really is family to Kyle. So really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things, Baja karma, right?
For sure.
It's all the Baja karma. Don't, you gotta put in to get out,
Yeah, appreciate it.
I was there when the car broke, when the tranny broke on the pre-runner. I was one of the first cars through there. I was in my UTV, my Can-Am. I'm like, I don't think I'm towing you in this, but I wouldn't let any big car go by without that rope stuck on the back of it. So very cool to see that you towed him out of there, Ray. It's good racing karma for sure. You had a good race, second place in Spec. That's a heck of a place to be. And the new truck seems like it's wailing pretty hard.
Yeah, the new truck is it's good. It's real good. I mean, we still obviously there's tons of room to improve. We don't have a lot of testing on it. I mean, we did put a big effort in to building it. You know how the time crunch always happens, but we did get some testing in. We got some testing after Hammers and before San Felipe. But overall, yeah, the package has been good. We were just a little too slow.
2 races, 2 podiums. That's pretty good. First at King of the Hammer, second here at San Felipe. It's not a bad way to start the year. You say too slow, but I mean, the guy, on my picture here, Justin's right above you there, but he finished right behind you. I mean, that guy's not letting any grass grow under his tires, right? So you're obviously not going too slow.
Yeah, I just looked at the times. It was basically 3 minutes from first to second, and then it was really only not even a minute between you and Justin. So less than a minute between second and third. Pretty damn close racing.
Yeah, no, it seems like the Spec Truck stuff always is. Obviously Justin finished actually right in front of me. So the last little section was just kind of step it up and go and get to his bumper. And unfortunately the guy behind us kind of snuck up, caught us a little off guard. And by the time I got splits and stuff, I had no excuse. It was just too late.
So you're basically running the race thinking I'm going to beat Justin on time here by sniffing up on his bumper, and the same thing happened to you. So I'm sure Justin's not heartbroken by you getting sniffed on a little bit, but I'm sure it hurts a little bit. Finishing third, Justin, that's not a bad place to be, man. Great start to the year. New sponsor also, right?
I think you're muted, maybe, Justin.
You're muted, Justin. On your side, now it shows you're muted on the... There you go. How about now? Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, that's dangerous. A little broken. I heard you for a second.
oh, we'll
Uh-oh.
see if he can rejoin.
Yeah, so anyway, that's a tough spot to be in, Ray, to have, be working on thinking, okay, well, we just got to make sure we beat Justin because you and he have been some of the perennial favorites in the class. And then all of a sudden you're like, what? Who? What? Something's going on behind me.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's exactly, I have no, the truck was perfect. We felt good in the truck. I literally don't have an excuse besides, we were just a little too slow and they came from the back and like I said, he snuck up on us. And by the time we were there, it was like, shoot, we got to go. Obviously,
Hey.
Justin's in front of us. We were in his dust, and it was just like, you're not hoping for somebody to get a flat or something to happen, but you're like, it's too close to the finish for to make up 2.5 or 3 minutes. And it seemed like that last little segment, once we kind of like bunched up there at the end, he just kept, we couldn't go anywhere, and he just kept reeling us in,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got to say those guys haul the mail. They're really good pre-runners.
Yeah.
Those guys are really good desert racers. They've proven it. Now, they won last year too, right?
They won last year too. Yeah. I mean, and talking to him after, I mean, he's always been fast, and it's, I guess that we should have paid more attention to the splits behind us. We did kind of have a small crew, and the guys were leaving pits early, like I said, so we didn't get super good splits until the end. And I should have just been watching him more. He's always obviously won it last year, so he definitely knows his way around San Felipe.
For sure. Much respect to him. Justin, welcome back. Can you hear us and can you talk to us? Looks like I don't know if you have a Starlink. Flip that thing on if you do.
His audio is not working too well.
Audio's not working, yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk to these guys real quick because this is kind of new. So the qualifying, what do you guys think of the qualifying? They're mixing now. The Class 1 cars get to mix with the spec trucks. You guys all start where you qualify. How do each one of you guys feel about it? Maybe start with you, Brendan. You like it? You don't like it? What do you think?
Well, I'm sure Ray didn't like it. It depends on how well you qualify. I'm glad for it because I like it for the spec trucks even. I like the fact that the three classes that are the biggest chassis, the safest chassis, they're all the fastest vehicles. A spec truck is faster than our class ones especially at San Felipe in a lot of spots. But if a spec truck hits us, it's no different than us hitting a spec truck. We are all safe in there. If we're bumping and banging,
oh crap!
and with the new push to pass buttons and stuff like that, at least somebody's there. And if you use it and we respond to it, it's great. I'm super happy. Cody was started in the top 10 overall. That was awesome. It gives us a chance to run well, to get better overall finishes. I'm not going to say a Class 1 is going to compete for an overall victory against a Gen 2 4-wheel drive, but it gives us chances for top 10s overall again. It gives us chances to run hard, and it allows Spec Truck the same chance that we do, and we all get to mix together. I'm super happy about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think, Brad? Do you like it or no?
Yeah, I loved it. Still learning the qualifying pace. This is the first year. This is the first race I didn't qualify, so I got to basically see the pace from outside the car and realized where my mistakes were made in the 2 times that I've done it. So I got to see, especially like Reed and Parkhouse, who really laid it out, like really what it's going to take to get up there. So I'm hoping to see something different at the 500 from my standpoint. If I qualify or if Kyle qualifies, we're definitely not there yet, but it's still, even on a bad qualifying day for us, it's putting us ahead of the guys we were having to fight through at the start of the 500 and thousands that were really putting our race kind of down off the start, just trying to get to Ojos blind, knowing that it's almost impossible to pass. So from that standpoint, it's great there. I do have my own opinion on, I think, the unlimited trophy truck part of it. Like, I think what happened to Pulverdi is a bummer, and it creates kind of a tough day for him, which it can happen to any of us. But I think this upper echelon of the all-wheel drive trophy truck almost is getting to that point where almost they should be in their own class. So if you qualified dead last or threw a belt like Christopher did, you basically would start, I don't know, 13th, and all those unlimited start up there. That's just kind of what I saw, because this was the first time I think that we saw a, not DNF technically, but pretty much a DNF that put him back in the mid 40s. And we had to see what he had to go through all day and basically push through that. But yeah, I mean, it's great because you look at the amount of specs there are, and there's a lot. I think there's the upper 30s this race, and the Rays, the Davises, the San Pietros, those guys, they're faster than us, 100%. But there's 25, maybe 30 that aren't. So we didn't like that idea early on of like, hey, they need to be in front of us, because our race would have been done. It would have been almost impossible to race in Mexico starting behind some of those trucks. But
it's almost impossible to race Mexico starting behind some of the trophy trucks we start behind.
Yeah, and that's true.
Brad, how many times did we, and Ray has to battle through the slow class ones and then get to those slow trophy trucks.
Right.
I passed a guy at mile 3 at San Felipe last year. Like, really? Yeah. When you're passing guys that quick, and from Ray's standpoint, it's got to be a big deal here.
Yeah, what do you think, Ray? You like the qualifying so far?
I mean, I've always been a fan of qualifying and kind of intermixing. Even back in the Best in the Desert days, I felt like when they would intermix, it's a good thing, because, I mean, there's slow trophy trucks, there's fast trophy trucks, and once you kind of like put everybody in their pace, I feel like, just like you said, San Felipe, you're passing cars at mile 3, you know, and especially like, say, when you hit Zoo Road first, being in the spec trucks, it was like pretty wild passing those first or those slower like one cars. Like I said, especially when we went that way, it was like, hang on, you know? So I definitely like that mix. I mean, I feel like the spec trucks are just another form of 2-wheel drive trophy truck right now. And as capable as they are, it's, I think it just makes for a lot cleaner race, especially in the beginning of the race. Like, we don't have to get through all that chaos. Nobody's getting upset from getting nerfed or bumped or some sketchy pass. And it just kind of lets everybody go, you know? Like I said, the truck looks brand new compared to when we're trying to get by people and bushwhack or bump people. The hood's on the truck, the bumper's on the truck, the lights are still on the truck. It's just a lot cleaner, you know? And until you race from way back there, I feel like a lot of the people don't understand how much stuff that we're trying to get through to get up front, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, what do you think, Cameron?
Copy. How'd you guys like the qualifying area on our closing question? And yes, I'm skipping the conversation about qualifying for now. I do have some ideas on it, but I'm holding them until I can complete.
Cameron doesn't want me to end the show like I did last time, where I called Cameron a trophy truck puss. That's why he doesn't want to answer the qualifying question.
I'm all
Let's
good.
hear it. Let's hear it. You got to say it now.
No, it's all good. The course, I think we all 4 of us that drove trophy trucks and spec trucks here can agree, though, way better qualifying course than the one we did San Felipe the last time I qualified, when it was that silt bed that was a 4-wheel drive, you know, heaven, where all the rest of us, I think I blew a motor that day. I think Wilson's, I think you guys blew a motor that one day, where we all qualified and we sucked in so much silt that we all blew our shit up.
That was at this same location.
No, it wasn't. That's what I mean. I think this was at least a way better course than that one where we were.
No, I think he's saying it was the same course.
No,
same area.
This was way better.
Yeah.
This was way better than that.
Well, for you, it was way better going at the beginning, but I was the very last 2-wheel drive trucks. Not very pleasant.
I like going first.
Yeah. So I think that there's some discussion to be had about how to make it fair. I agree with all of you that safety is job number 1. And I do like what you're saying, Ray and Brad. I think there's a lot of metal to all that. I think that there is some discussion about how you mix the classes. I kind of think that we should be coming at it from a little bit of a different angle, because one thing Score's been trying to do, in my opinion, is they've been trying to elevate the storytelling. And by doing that, they're putting the all-wheel drive trucks last, which I kind of think is a mistake in some ways. I think that more intermixing would be good. And what the idea I've been playing around with for, over the last 8 years or so is coming up with a formula that could benefit telling the story of the most consistent qualifiers and most consistent racers and come up with something like the Fast 40. So there's open qualifying for everybody that wants to pay to qualify. And then the Fast 40 would qualify as a group. These would be the known racers, the guys that have finished in the top five, maybe 80% of the time, whether it's qualifying or racing. I'm not sure how you get to this Fast 40 or Fast 30 or whatever the number is, but then roll them all out as a group and intermix them. I think if you want to mix the trophy truck, spec, and class ones, well, you sure as hell can't send the legends out first, and you can't send all the class one cars before us, because I'm here to tell you that we had a shit qualifying run. I was in a bad mood. Fish called it out on the show. I was trying to drive wide on some of the silt stuff because it has cost us 2 engines qualifying in that area, whether exact spots or not. And I think that there's a way to come at it where it could benefit the sport from both a media standpoint, elevating all of our best drivers, and it still gives a chance for someone to come up and be quick and be right on the back of the Fast 40, but you got to earn your way up there, because one of the things from where I stand is that I have not been a spectacular qualifier. We've had some good qualifying runs, but for us, last year's Baja 500, we chased 3 spec trucks for hours, and we could get right to them, but we couldn't quite get to them. And it was very frustrating because we're looking out around the side of them all the time, and it gives the opportunity for spectators to be there. So the exact same thing that Ray and Brad are saying, I agree with, but I also agree that there's a bit of an aspect of that where you have good qualifiers and spec trucks that are beating trophy trucks that have more horsepower, that are built to race the longer play. So if it was up to me, I would qualify on actual race course instead of on stop and go areas where I think the spec truck might be better. My spec truck might be better, and having all these turns, because that's not the way we race. So if we can qualify on the race course and qualify as mixed, like we do, like we're going to race, these are maybe things that would help that. And I want to say at the same time that I think that Jose G has been doing a great job for our sport overall. And I like that he's forward thinking. I don't always agree with him, and I've at times told him what I think. Sometimes he likes it, sometimes he doesn't. But I do think overall that he and Score are doing the very best they can to propel our sport forward. And I do give Jose G a huge tip of the hat, whether I agree 100% of the time or not. So I have a couple different thoughts to it. I haven't been able to formulate it exactly, but that's kind of one of the ideas. So we can roll out our best class one guys, our best spec guys, our best legends guys, our best all-wheel drive guys, our best two-wheel drive guys, put them all out there at the same time. Let the media come to that instead of having the media stop after 90 qualifiers or 80 qualifiers or whatever it is, and then re-rack for 9 cars or 10 cars. So
yeah, we'll see what
real quick. What would your thought be on taking the finishing order from San Felipe, and that's your starting qualifying order for the 500?
Well, I think that you can't do it on an individual race basis because sometimes people wouldn't be included in that. So, for instance, there'd be a number of people that wouldn't be counted. So I say you take
what Brad's saying is the whole field, Cameron, not the Fast 40, not your Fast 40 idea, the whole field. So it's still a disadvantage for the guy that blew a motor at mile 10, somebody that had a bad run, but at least they still get to qualify. I think that's what you're saying, Brad, right? Not the Fast 40 idea.
Yeah.
Just take, so
I mean, you're
to be last, but
you're qualifying at the 500 would start Luke, Tavo, Bryce, and then so on. And I don't know, we would be 24th or 26th, whatever that was.
I think you could definitely look at it that way. That's why I'm thinking you aggregate it. Like Fish did something a while back with King of the Hammers that I thought was interesting when they first did the unlimited trucks. They had it figured out who had the best average over 2 years. And I think that it would be more accommodating, and you wouldn't have someone who had a shocker like I did at San Felipe be way back in the pack. Also, I don't think you can send all of the very best guys out first. And I also think that you might want to have a joker lane or a bonus lane for that Fast 40 that the other classes or don't face. So the best or the most well-known have to take on something that's a little bit different. It's all just different ideas. It's all storytelling. and just, different way to look at it. I'm not right, and maybe no one else is right, but I think a good aggregate of ideas can come together and make it even more interesting for the fan.
Well, we
it's
can
going in the
talk to
right
the all-wheel
direction.
drive. We'll talk to the all-wheel drive guys. They're waiting too, so we're gonna bring them on in a minute. We can get their opinion too.
Yep, for sure. Well, they're the big stars of the sport, so we'll definitely get some good feedback from them. I wanted to say thank you guys for great opinions and fun. I know we got off on a couple topics there, and I'm really bummed we didn't get to hear from Justin Davis, who's definitely one of our perennial favorites in the sport. But Brendan, thank you, buddy, for the time and for coming out. We really appreciate your fun and always jovial ways. Brad, congratulations. You and obviously you and the Gons both have been doing this a long time, and stoked to see you guys carrying on the tradition for your family. And Ray, just blistering pace, been so good in our sport. We appreciate what you bring to it. And it's been great to watch you have great success in your new vehicle too. It's fun to see that you guys put that together in your shop and have such a capable vehicle. Obviously, it's a Mason vehicle,
Yeah.
but the work you guys have done is outstanding.
No, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for like I said, the sport's what's always keeps pushing me. Obviously, yeah, I can't complain about Mason builds a insane truck, and just super thankful that they let me play with it and put it together.
Awesome. I wanted to say, Brad, I like the idea formulation. I think what you should do is you should put that on paper, an email, or call Jose G and make a suggestion. I think one of the things that our sport needs more than anything is voices from those of us that live inside in the world. And Jose G has great ideas, but it'd be great to see a little bit more coming from all the other racers. So if you have the bandwidth to do that, Brad, you should pitch him your idea, and maybe something different will stick for the next race.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll do that.
All right, we'll bid farewell to the Spec drivers and Class 1.
Maybe something different will stick for the next race.
Really appreciate you guys. It sounds like we might have an echo going already.
That's Luke. Hi, Luke.
Ouch. Welcoming in, obviously, some of the greatest names in our sport. The greatest names currently in our sport, obviously, just a stellar group here at Fishgistics. Once again, it's all opinion-based, lots of fun. Let's have some chatter. And let's do this. Welcome and hello, Luke McMillan, winner at San Felipe. Great to see you, buddy.
Hey, sorry, I had the live portion of this going on my phone, so I think I'm delayed or something.
All good.
I'm here now.
We're stoked to have you, and welcome, Bryce. Stoked to see you, buddy. Congratulations on your podium finish.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate for having me on.
Yeah, we love having you. And Sam Baldy, coming off championship year in two-wheel drive, coming back with a podium right out of the gate. Sam, congratulations, and welcome to another episode of Fishgistics.
Thank you, man. Good to see you guys.
Yep, and Rob Mack, lots of news for you today. We'll be talking about that. Hope you don't mind, but congratulations on your two-wheel drive win. I was stoked to see you come out to battle in your own truck and kick some ass, man. It's always great to see the legend of our sport come out and hurt people's feelings. Maybe.
Does he have sound on? Can you hear us, Rob?
He waved hello. Can you hear us? Maybe. All right, we'll see.
Well, hopefully Rob will get his mic turned on.
Turn your mic on, Rob. Or maybe he doesn't want to talk right now. But let's get it started real quick with Luke, man. A great race for you guys, but there was some battling going on out there. It's been really fun to watch the front of the all-wheel drive class or the unlimited class or trophy truck class or whatever the hell we call it. You guys have been setting amazing pace. It must be really nice to come out and put that W down to start the year.
Yeah, for sure. No, it felt great. It's been a little over a year since our last overall win, so we were due. I was ready for one. So yeah, it was a great race. It started off all mixed up with Ricky in front of us, and then he took care of that pretty quick, and then from there I knew it would be just not getting flat tires and staying in front of Alan, and of course Alan's per usual. I started kind of strong because I wanted to get up on Ricky, but then Alan was all over me, and then just as I expected, about halfway through the race, the first time I heard over my radio, I just heard Bryce's name. I was on driver isolate. I heard Menzies' name. I said, "Uh-oh, here we go." So it was a great battle, and it's a great class. I mean, super competitive, really tight racing, and it was a lot of fun. Super stoked to get the win. Again, it's been a little while, so But it was good. That was our third San Felipe win in the last 5 years, and the 2 years we missed it, we got second. So it's been a good run for us there.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it, Luke, I'm gonna say. It's a good driver's course. I think it's a good pre-runners course. I think you guys here are all good at that. Luke, I was super inspired to see you and the family and seeing photos with the kids. Bryce, the same, man. It was really cool to see you guys having your kids out there after, obviously, Luke, your family goes so far back in the sport. Grandpa Corky, your dad, your uncle, brother, cousin. I mean, cousins. It's pretty cool, and it must be something really special for you to have the kids out there around the race car.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was really cool, especially having my son there. He was only 5 weeks old. We weren't sure if we are going to bring him down or whatnot, but we had the motorhome down there, and he was born and he's a happy, healthy guy, and so it was great to have him there. And then, the kids got to hang out with Bryce at the finish line, and we were actually watching Bryce's recap video the other day, and my daughter wasn't very into it, and then all of a sudden she popped on the screen and was stoked. So that was cool, but it's a lot of fun having the family down there.
Yeah, that's it's always a good game, right? Put people on the screen and they're like, "Whoa, I see myself." It's like kind of amazing, and then people text each other like, "Hey." But Bryce, hey, really cool to see you down there at the family podium. I know you and Luke have been battling for years now. Obviously, you have a special relationship with your dad down in Baja, who's been doing some racing, and having the family down there. It's got to be a great vibe for you.
Yeah, it's really cool to have them down there. I've been doing this for way too long now. It seems like 16 years or something. So it makes those bad days seem not too bad. So even ending up third, which was unbelievable for the little bit of issues we had, just having my son down there, he wanted to be in the truck the whole time, my daughter and stuff. So it's a cool vibe.
Definitely cool. It's the pace. I got to ask you guys, it seems like you guys are running pretty hard all the time. I know we are. We're racing. When we're racing the top 10, we're going. I know Rob was going. He finished, I think, 8th overall. That pace has been pretty blistering. Does it make it more fun or more intense, or a little bit of all that, Bryce?
I would say a little bit of all that. It definitely, the pace is it's intense. It's wild how fast we were going. Me and Oren talk about it nowadays. We're almost going qualifying pace 90% of the race. And it seems like you have to do that to keep up. So it's scary at times, but it also makes the sport, that much better for the audience, for us. The trucks are capable of withstanding it now. So technology's gotten there where it's coming down to, like we've been saying this for a while, but like one flat tire, a little hiccup here or there, you're not going to win the race.
Yeah, hiccups for sure. And you got to be careful how you say, I've been doing this a long time, too long maybe, when you say 16 years, because right here on the screen with you, this guy, Rob McCachran.
I think he's good now.
I think he might be on with us. Rob Mack,
can you hear us?
Myself have been doing this since the 80s, dang it. I don't even know how long that was. But Rob, great race, buddy. Congratulations on bringing home the bacon. Maybe.
This a long time. You can say 16 years because right here on the screen.
He's on the delay.
I think he's good now.
Is it good now? Yeah, I got you. I can.
How long that was. But Rob, great race, buddy. Congratulations on bringing home the bacon.
Yeah, thank you. It was good.
Maybe.
Rob, turn off the other audio.
You guys hear me or no?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. If you guys got me, yeah, I hear. I'm traveling. I'm in my truck. And anyways, long story short, yeah, San Felipe was good. We had a good run. No big issues there. It's kind of a last minute thing for me. Didn't know what was happening for the year. And about 5 weeks before the race, ended up pulling the trigger and get the old geyser out and, put it together and had a good run.
For sure, a good run. It looks like you had a lot of fun too. Was it awesome? I mean, you get the benefit now. You get to be out there pre-running with Cade, and that's got to be a lot of fun too.
Ended up pulling the
I
trigger.
think he's on time delay. I will say it's good that Rob is better at driving than he is with technology, because we'd be in trouble.
I love it. All right,
well, he uses lead nav, so
yeah.
He uses the most technology there is.
Sam, welcome back to the show. Another podium buddy running around with that red plate. That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, I was at the start line. I was looking over at Rob, and I said, "Man, somehow I got to get in with Rob." You know, we made a couple, we made a couple of mistakes and missed the VCP and got the truck stuck. But we would have been right there on Rob's bumper. We were working on it all day.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be up there racing with Rob for sure. And I know you guys have been working hard at it. New design for the truck, new sponsors, new partners. You guys got a lot going on over there.
Yeah, we do. The Baldies are doing something crazy, and I've been trying to get a little bit healthier myself, and so we kind of got on the kick of building something that might be healthier to eat than just what's out there. So we're actually building this thing ourselves, and it's incredible. It's working out really well, and they're sponsoring the truck, you know, full blown. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, interesting name. I love it.
Yeah, well, there's some stories behind the name. Maybe when we're alone, I'll tell you a little bit about it. But the name has a lot of meaning. We've gotten a lot of fight over it, but it's definitely catchy. Let's put it that way.
For sure. Well, I know Luke, you were saying that you had a clean race, and part of the plan was to not get any flats. Obviously, that's always the plan. But qualifying sounded like you were a little frustrated by the way the stacking of the group went. Overall, vibe on the whole qualifying setup, the silt, the sand versus maybe qualifying on desert race course. Any thoughts, opinions there on that?
Yeah, you feel the same way about that. You know, my personal opinion. You know, you were talking earlier about qualifying order and this and that. I just don't understand why we qualify separate in class, but why they separate the classes in qualifying and then start the races how you qualify. Why don't we just qualify how we register? That way everybody's mixed. There's no difference in classes. And you know, you felt it. We were towards the back qualifying as well, you know, and we just didn't. My personal opinion about qualifying, I don't try to destroy the truck.
Volume is not loud enough on my phone.
Hey, Rob, let's hear you.
Can you hear us now, Rob?
Yeah, the problem is I can barely hear you on my phone, so I can't figure out how to get my volume on my phone loud enough to hear you guys.
All right, if you can hear this, tell us about your race a little bit and tell us what you thought about the qualifying situation. Give us some feedback on your overall thoughts on the race in San Felipe.
Yeah, I mean, so the beginning of the story was, you know, early this year, February, I didn't know what I was doing, if I was racing with the fastball guys or not. Mid-February, I ended up pulling the trigger, get my old geyser out and enter in two-wheel drive trophy truck and see what we could do. So I hammered down with the Collins team, getting that truck prepped and getting into the race. So things went pretty well there. Go to qualifying, which, you know, I know there's in my mind, there should be a lot of controversy with the qualifying, and, you know, something definitely needs to get sorted. I did hear you guys talking about it earlier, and there definitely has to be a better plan on that. It was, you know, the different tracks can create different situations, as we all know, on who can qualify good or who can't. And, you know, the legends and the class one guys, you know, Brendan, you know, I hear your words. You know, you guys got a big advantage over other people. So it really mixed everything up and was, you know, in my mind, it was terrible, the situation with that course. And Cameron, you know, I lost an engine years ago. Bryce did, I think, and you did. And it's very, very expensive for us. So I don't know exactly what it is. There's many different scenarios, but I think the dialogue needs to keep going strong so that something like that never happens again. You know, there's different ideas. I know the Spec guys and the class ones, you know, want to get the shot to qualify good to try to win the race overall. And I agree with that. I think that the goal here should be looking at what the best thing is as a whole for the sport moving forward. You know, and I say we all entered a class to race people in that class. And I think at times, you know, a different way to look at it is at times if a class one car, you know, qualifies up front and their competitors are in the back, the guys in their class one that qualify in the back don't have a chance at all to win the race in my mind. So, I have a small argument for saying if you entered class 1, then you all start as a group. You can start how you qualify within your group, but you need to be a group. And same thing with 6100 and two-wheel drive trophy truck and legends and everything else. I can bounce two ways. It's let us all qualify together and have a draw with everyone at San Felipe. I think there were 70 something. We'll have a draw with 70 of us, and that's how we start qualifying, or have draws within each group, and then how you qualify within your group, that's how you start. And then maybe to make that fair for everyone is put a gap in between each class. So let's just say all-wheel drive trophy truck goes first in the race, then put a 10-minute gap, and then whatever class it is, if it's 6100 class 1 or legends or whatever class is the second fastest, and somehow you're going to have to figure out how to decide that, whether it's from the previous race or what have you, then that group starts, and then 10 minutes to the 6100s and 10 minutes to the class 1s or whatever it is. And then, even I have a UTV guy that lives in my house with me that he would argue the same. He would like to see a 10-minute gap before the UTV start, because he gets in the back of the slow guys and then they're being hurt. So that's really all I want to say about the qualifying thing. I think it definitely needs to get sorted so it's fair for everyone. And then continuing on to the race, we qualified 27th overall. We were the first two-wheel drive truck, and the track was destroyed from when we had our practice lap and when Brendan got to go on the track. And you heard it. You called him out on it, Cameron. He said, "What are you guys talking about? The track was great." Yeah, when you went, but by the time the two-wheel drive trophy trucks went, it was destroyed. So I think, that, say one last time, that needs to be worked on and figured out so it's fair for everyone and it's more realistic. Moving on to talk about our race, starting 27th, we had, 6,100 guys that typically would be, 10 to 15 seconds slower than what I think I would have qualified. And same thing, I had class 1 guys in front of me that would never be there. Not calling Ricky out, but Ricky Johnson, he had a good track. Normally on average, he's, 8-10 seconds off the pole, and he gets the pole. So that's that. And again, I'm gonna say one last time, I don't want to talk about qualifying no more. It needs to be fixed. Our race went well. We just had to battle dust and 6,100 guys. I never saw any of the class 1 guys. They were all on the side of the road or whatever they were doing. I never even saw any of them on the road. And then our race went well. We, we're in the dust all the way up through Matomi. I got a flat tire. Got out to change it. My co-rider Joey Westoff got out to change it, and the hydraulic jacks didn't work, which I tested them 4 times before the race. So I had to get out and help with that. And from there, back in the dust all the way to really probably Diablo in. We kind of had scattered, vehicles to pass, but it was a great race, no other problems, and we were able to bring the win home. So for me, it felt really good, and it was a success.
Yeah. Oh, you're muted, Cameron. See, look at he's taking after Rob here. Rob's unmuted now. Cameron's muted.
I had to mute because I went on to see if there's any questions on the thread. So I'm sure you're maintaining that. But Rob, is great for me to see at the start line, Kevin and you working together. Everybody loves Kevin Croyer, obviously, but great to see you guys working together at the start line once again.
Yeah, Kevin's been awesome. Has been a big part of my career. He was actually my first mechanic on the stadium truck in like 1989 when I raced for Walker Evans. So Kevin's been a great help for my career over the years, and appreciate everything he's done for myself and a lot of us that are on here. He's helped as well.
Copy that, Rob. Luke, let's talk a little bit about the ideas, thoughts. Rob's thrown some stuff out there. Heard Sam talk. I was talking, a few people talking. Do you have some opinions on how we elevate the all-wheel drive class or all the racers, or how do you have I would say you're quite studied in our sport, to say the very least. If there's an idea to be had, I have a feeling it's somewhere underneath that hat.
Yeah, I have strong opinions. Everyone knows that, but I think you're talking about qualifying. I think it's a can of worms all open. You know what? Here, I'll start with the most unpopular opinion of mine. I think score announces right now, 2028, there's 2 classes. There's trophy truck and there's trophy truck spec. Fit in one of those classes. That's my opinion. Legends is a joke. I don't care how old Rob, Robbie, or Ricky Johnson are. They're great drivers, and they don't need their own class. And they don't, half of them don't even join the class. The spec guys are fast. They're faster than the class ones. And so to fix like the problem right away, I think we need to start in our class. So I think all the all-wheel drives need to stick together. No Pavorti back in 36. I think we all start together, and I think we start, all-wheel drive goes first. And then the next class is whoever was fastest at the last race. So the next fastest class straight up is trophy truck spec. They should start second. The next is two-wheel drive trophy truck. And then the next is class one. That's the way it is. I mean, they're faster than the class one guys. Anywhere, everywhere. I don't care what the track is. So I really think we should start by class though, like all together, because that's the way Baja Racing's always been. There's been, you start in your class and there's 1 minute intervals, and that's just part of it. You shouldn't get a 5 minute gap going, oh, the next guy in my class, for example, Jason McNeil shouldn't start 5 or 10 minutes in front of the next spec truck. That gives him such a big window of, just room for error and whatnot. And he's not racing for the overall. So why does everyone want to move forward that far? They're not racing for the overall. They're racing against their class. So they should be all together. And then, every now and then maybe a class will get behind a class that shouldn't be, but that's the way it's always been. When I raced 16 cars, I used to have to race, I used to have to pass class 12 cars, 10 cars. That's the way it's always been. And I don't know the big gripe behind it, because if you qualified first in your class and you got to deal with the next slow guy, well, so does everyone right behind you. You pass the next guy in front of you. Guess what? The guy behind you has to pass him next. You all deal with the problem. I don't see why one guy who's really fast, Jason McNeil, should start way in front of his entire class. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So too many classes start within their class. Fast guys go, towards the front. And spec is the next fastest class after all-wheel drive, whether that's because of equipment, driver, preparation, whatever it is, that's the way it is. And I hate to say it out loud, but out of the 4 classes, the class 1 cars and guys, they're the slowest. They should start back. So
I don't think anything you said is unpopular. I think that what you're saying has a lot of validity. Obviously, you have a huge voice in our sport.
To me, it's a very, very easy, obvious answer. What we're doing right now is goofy. Fish called it. So Pavorti gets to, if you don't finish, you start next behind the slowest guy in your class. Okay, so let the all-wheel drives go. We'll get first, second, third, fourth. We know who's going to do that. I would suggest the next 5 guys just DNF, and you guys will start 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's just goofy. That doesn't make any sense. So,
well, right, under the current rules, I can just enter in in unlimited, and I can just park my truck. I stub my toe, and I'm going to start 14th or whatever the number is. Here's my one devil's advocate to your plan. Two things I'm not sure that I totally agree with, but I'll speak out to it. I do think that what you're saying has tons of validity. And I think it even has more validity if we're going to qualify on race course versus stop and go U-turns. I think it would make it more interesting to have the two-wheel drive trophy trucks be able to actually do what two-wheel drive trophy trucks do. You can argue I suck. I don't really care what you think on that note. But if Rob Mack is 27th, that's bullshit, in my personal opinion. So I think we have to figure something out there. The other devil's advocate I will play with you right now is, when Score came back with the two-wheel drive trophy truck class, I hated the idea. I was against it for years. But when they first did this, I had about maybe 8 or 12 guys call me that weren't at the races saying, hey, I'm going to come race two-wheel drive trophy truck. It's going to be a great class. I think this is a great opportunity. But then we throw them on these short course qualifiers, and then they have to start behind the spec trucks, and they don't like it. And are they going to come or not? Now, here's where it makes a difference. What happens when the all-wheel drive class, which is currently 11 trucks this last race, what if the budgets change and all of a sudden there's only 4 all-wheel drive trucks? Then now you're not going to have any two-wheel drive trucks. You're just going to have the spec truck class. So just playing devil's advocate, there's a lot of different things to look at here. And I think there's a lot of validity to what you're saying. And I think somewhere there's a combination of a good idea between all these minds. And Luke, I would respect your opinion as much as anybody's out there.
Yeah, so I have a spec truck now. I drive it, and to be honest, it's not hardly any different than my old racer two-wheel drive. Like, I honestly think I could put up just as good of a time. All I'm doing is saving those two-wheel drive guys $100,000 in engine costs.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I think during the race, though, the two-wheel drive trucks are still faster and still more capable if they don't have to pass the spec trucks, which I had to sit behind at the last race. You can ask some of the other two drive guys their opinion.
Yeah, I respect your opinion. I think the difference is very, very small. Rob chased around some spec trucks. Maybe he can say how it was.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, again, it's racing, but luckily I was the first trophy truck 2-wheel drive on the course, and everyone else had to go through them. But you made a comment, Luke, about Jason McNeil, and that's a great analogy, and that happens with every class. I don't think it's fair to the rest of the group when we're separated. It gives an unfair advantage, and I just think as a whole, you should race within whichever group. So I agree with a lot about what Luke said about that. Yeah.
I also agree that it's hard for Score to try to qualify on a big, more deserty type race course. They're trying to keep it tight, trying to keep control of it, trying to make media out of it. I totally get it. And I'm not here to say any one of us.
If I could add one more point, and sorry to contradict you, Cam, but I've said it for a long time, ever since we went to Vegas to qualify at SEMA, which was the worst thing ever. But my opinion is you can kind of put us on any track, long, short, turns, twisty, soft, whatever. The same good drivers rise to the top almost always, other than when they let an all-wheel drive class go 70 cars in front of us like they did with Ricky. That's totally bunk. But as long as we're qualifying in the same group and we're starting within that group, I think that the top drivers rise to the top every time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just look at the results. The results have always done that. Like, if you don't believe what he's saying, it's the same 5 people that are at the top. Same 5 people win all the races in this classes too, honestly. Like, it really is. So if you see some of those guys and they get screwed because of the qualifying order, something's a little bit weird going on there.
Yeah, well, maybe you take all those top 5 in those classes and mix them into your top 20 and come up with some kind of shootout qualifying. I don't know. Bryce, do you have an opinion on any of this, since you're the only one that hasn't got to talk about the qualifying ideas?
I mean, I think it's pretty damn easy. Whatever class you sign up for is what you start in. I don't get the whole putting everybody together, because the course, it's not a asphalt course. It's going to change. It's going to deteriorate from 1 to 99, however many trucks are out there. So, if you're racing 6100 and you want to run up front, then go buy a all-wheel drive truck. You know what I mean? You're signing up for that class, so race in your class. And then it also makes it harder for spectators, people that don't know the sport, when they're watching or whatever. Why the heck is a 6100 in front of a trophy truck? Or timing for our guys to be able to find time, because now you have 5 trucks in between. So it adds so much more that I don't think needs to be there. I think the class you sign up for, you qualify and you start in that group, and that's how I think it should be.
All right, Fish texted me. He said, next subject. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about coming up the Baja 500 a little bit with you guys. Obviously, Rob Mack, your big story today. Just Paul Wheel releasing that you guys are going to be teaming up. That's big news. Bryce, you have big news with your new truck, new design. Looks beautiful. Congratulations to both you guys. Luke, what do you think about these guys? I mean, this is obviously some changing of the competition structure, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think with the limited pre-running, people are, teaming up is a good thing. The Gen 2 will be interesting. I don't know if Bryce is racing it or not. I think it looks like a really nice truck. We'll see if it's like next level, where there's a huge, going from 2-wheel drive to all-wheel drive was a huge jump. We'll see about that, but I'm excited for the 500. And yeah, I think I'm happy for Rob. I texted Rob a while ago. I said, whatever you need to do. I'm Rob's biggest fan. So to see him race in the class that he belongs in, I'm super stoked on that. So happy for Rob to find a seat, and then not so much worried about the 500, but the Baja 1000 is where I'm kind of looking around going, where's all the seats going, and where's who's going in what seat and whatnot. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to shake things up, but we'll be ready to race.
That was a question we had in the chat. A couple of people text me. Luke, you and Rob have teamed up at the Baja 1000 a lot. You potentially now, or not potentially, Rob's gonna be racing against you now. Did you fill the seat yet, or are you taking applications?
I have a very good idea for a very fast driver, but can't say, hasn't been filled, and it's not my cousin. I'll tell you that. he's chosen to do something else, which is all good. So it's not Rob, it's not my cousin, but someone very fast. So we'll see.
All right. Well, Bryce, what about you? I mean, you team up with, you've teamed up with his cousin a few times. What are you? I don't want to. This isn't the Baja 1000 show, but are you going to race the Gen 2 this year? I guess is the first question people want to know. Or what's your plan with the Gen 2?
I haven't even seen it yet, honestly. It's still at Mason. They're doing a couple little more things. Hopefully we'll get it here next week and try to go test. And my plan is to test it till it doesn't have any issues. We have two perfectly good Gen 1s that are capable of winning races, and that's why we go down to do this. So we're gonna test the crap out of this thing, and try to figure out, how it works. Does it work better here? Where it works better? What's going to break? And then once we get to that point, then we'll figure out where we're going to race it. But so far, it's just trying to get the truck here, go test, and kind of see how the thing handles.
Well, I mean, it's the logical plan, obviously, but really exciting news to see it. Love the design, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out on the track on it. Rob, you haven't seen it either, then, right? So you haven't touched it, seen it?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the truck either. Since the news broke or a little bit before, I started scrolling social media and looking at Bryce's reveal pictures to see what the truck looked like on the inside. So I'm itching to get down to the shop and go check it out, at Mason's and see what it is. It's very exciting for me, racing over 40 years to be able to, put my butt in one of the most advanced, I guess you could argue, trophy trucks that have ever been built. So I'm super excited about that. To help develop it and hopefully, keep pushing the envelope on trophy trucks, and vehicles that go across the desert. All the technology and stuff that's changed in my whole lifetime. When I started racing, I had no power steering, no radio, no spare tire. And now, air conditioner units. And I think Bryce, the guys that did the carbon fiber on his truck, I think is that right, Bryce? 75 pieces of carbon fiber on that truck. So again, I'm super excited to be part of Paul Wheel and, with Mason and developing this truck and getting back racing with the all-wheel drive guys. When I got in the two-wheel drive truck, it was like, wow, this thing does not get off the corners and all the soft sand. It's just laboring. So I'm excited to get back in the truck and excited to get down to the shop and see it and learn who the new players are and get to work.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be pretty exciting. I know that, the whole situation and in the comments here, and people have been texting me like, are you guys going to talk about the Rock thing? Of course, we got to say something about it, right? Like, it's a bummer that it happened and stuff happens. You guys can attest. There's a lot of pressure, going out there and trying to win these races nowadays, and everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes you might think something's a good idea, and then after you do it, you realize it's not a good idea. And, I think that Paul handled the situation well. It's a bummer for Toby. Toby was a really good guy. He still is a really good guy. I know known Brent for a long time. They're both friends. They're the top guys out there. I mean, they were competing with you guys. Honestly, none of you are sad to see Toby go because he was beating you some races, right? I'm just going to say that. So it's a bummer that it happened, but I'm stoked that Rob was able to get a ride there. And I think Rob and Paul, you guys are going to be a really good team going forward. I think you made a good choice there.
Yeah, no, it's a bummer. I want to say I looked up to Toby and, I really feel for him. I'm bummed that situation arose. I don't know how it did. At the beginning, I almost thought it was an April Fool's joke, and I realized it wasn't April Fool's, and it just developed. And, Toby's such a talent. It's sad. It's just, I don't even know what to say. It's just really a bummer. And I'm shocked and in awe, just amazed that it happened. It's sad, but, yeah, it's a bummer.
Absolutely. All the way around. Bryce or Luke, any commentary, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely horrible. Kind of like what I was talking to all the other drivers. I think our sport is very family oriented. We go out, we make lines, we do stuff like that, but I don't think I would ever think about doing something that would harm another competitor to gain advantage. So it was hard to process that. It was hard to even to think that those guys would do that. Toby's raced with me. Toby's an amazing guy. And it's just hard to fathom, what goes through your head to even to do something like that. Someone can get hurt. We're all out there to really have fun, but we all want to get home safe. And that's always been my biggest goal for our team, for anybody. So, not a good look for our sport. But we just got to move on and hopefully, everybody else out there kind of sees what happened. Like when I do my pit meetings, every time I say, everybody has a phone. You can't get away with anything. So just don't do it. Don't do anything that you don't want people to see, because it's going to be seen. So hopefully we move on and just go for the better.
Absolutely. I wanted to say I had some personal feelings. I just wanted to say that I think that everybody, no matter how or what happened, no matter what the situation is, I think all of us, none of us walks on water. I think we all have to take it with I think we have to have respect for every situation, and I think that we got to have some grace too. And I think that's what you're saying. And I just wish the best for everybody, and a lot of respect all the way around, even though it's a very tough situations.
Yeah. But we're on to the 500. Who knows where the course is going? You guys want to see a course preview? Too bad.
Yeah,
what do you
no,
think,
I
what do you
think
think, Cameron? Where's it going? Are you ready? Are you racing the 500? What are you racing? Are you gonna take Rob's spot in 2-wheel drive and try to take the points, since Rob's not gonna be racing in 2-wheel drive now, or what?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I'm gonna just run the number 11, go for the points championship, and make Sam crazy, all at the same time. I'm sure he would he would not appreciate it, but maybe we can find a way to do that. But yes, we're 2-wheel drive racing right now. I'm stoked on all of our effort. Monster Energy Yokohama 16 was great at San Felipe. We had a failure, and things happen. So I'm disappointed, but I do want to say a lot of respect for everybody here, and everybody in our sport. It's a lot of fun to be out there battling with you guys, and I think what we should do is go around the horn on some closing thoughts like we've done with the other groups. And just, what would you, I know we talked a lot about qualifying ideas. We're talking about forward thinking in race trucks. We're talking about where the Baja 500 is going to be. What kind of thoughts do you have moving forward? And we'll start with, we'll go in order of how you guys finish the race. We'll start with Sam Baldy, because I think you were just right there at top 10 overall.
Yeah, man, the 500 is exciting. We're really excited to get out there and see what the course is going to look like. That's where I think you and I, Cameron, in our 2-wheel drive Toby trucks, I think we could shine in that scenario where we can grow legs and make it happen. I'm hoping we get this qualifying thing straightened out to where it makes it fair for everybody. I think everybody had really good ideas. We just need to get it kind of straightened out. So I know we're not going to make everybody happy, because everybody's going to bitch about something constantly. It's just the way it is. But the way it is right now, it's kind of messy. So if we can put that together, I think we're going to have a great season.
Rob, how about you? Overall thoughts on either the 500 or anything we've talked about, something different? I mean, you're obviously pretty excited about what you have going on.
I am very excited about going to the Baja 500. I'm also excited about just getting to see the truck. It's amazing in pictures, and I saw pictures of that transmission in that truck, and it's crazy. I thought it was a 10-speed or something. I found out it's not, but the Baja 500 is going to be good. I know we're going to go from Ensenada to Ensenada probably, and we're either going to go clockwise or counterclockwise. So, again, looking forward to it. I love Baja, and, thank you to all the people that are, support me and put good words in for me, to Paul Wheel or to any of those people. Again, I can't thank Luke and the McMillan family, Mark and all of them, for the opportunity to race with him at the Baja 1000. And, I think Luke always knew, I know he always knew that if something came along that I couldn't resist, or I, would have to miss racing the 1,000 with him, that he he would understand, and he's been very good about that. And as we were talking earlier, last year I tried to race both the fastball truck and with Luke, and I started thinking maybe I can still do both, but I think best choice is to everybody put their foot forward. I've been brainstorming, trying to figure out who Luke's going to have drive. He said super fast, and so I got a guess. I'm not going to say anything, but I have a guess, and I don't think anybody would think who I'm thinking of. So, anyways, good luck to everyone, and we'll see you at the 500.
Nice way to drop a hand grenade on us right there at the end. Bryce, what about closing thoughts from you, buddy?
Just super excited for the 500. It's always been one of my favorite races. I think it kind of gives you everything from graded roads to rough desert, mountain passes. So excited for that. Excited to see what this new truck has. I don't think you'll see me racing it at the 500, but I think you'll see me pre-running with it. So we'll have a ton of videos with that. I'm just glad to be back to racing, honestly. This time last year, I didn't think I was going to race at all. So excited to be back doing that. Excited that my kids are a little bit bigger. They get to come down to every race, enjoy it. I can't wait till they could ride with me in the pre-runner. So that's kind of where my life is now. I love having them be a part of it down there in the 500. And you guys are going to see something new at the 500 for us, but I'll leave it up to later down the road for you guys to see that.
Fun. More unfinished thoughts. I love it. Leave us on a cliffhanger. I'll give some quick thoughts before we get to our San Felipe winner. I just want to say, wishing everybody a prosperous spring and summer. And we're very fortunate to be racing trucks and racing in the desert. What a beautiful place, and specifically racing in Baja. I want to thank the people of Mexico and all the officials and everybody that makes it possible, the race organizations. We're all obviously score born and bred, and very supportive and very appreciative of everything that Juan Tintos, Jose G. Roger, and the whole team are doing over there. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a lot of fun for a lot of years for me, and I'm super excited to get to the 500. So even though sometimes people might say it feels like Groundhog Day, it's very exciting to get back to racing in Baja anytime we go. And I wanted to let you finish, Luke. So thoughts, comments, moving forward, back thoughts, whatever you got.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm stoked to get the San Felipe win, and all eyes on the Baja 500 and Baja 1000, and excited to do it for for Monster Energy and BF Goodrich tires. They both, I needed to deliver a win, and we finally did it. And I feel like the wind is back in our sails. It was a lot of changes over the last year and whatnot, and finally I feel like the truck and myself are getting back into rhythm, and I'm excited about that. So really excited for the 500. I'm amped up, ready to go, and again, just stoked to get the win and carry that momentum to the 500. Can't wait to see where the race course goes and everyone's plans, but we'll be ready to race. And Baja 1000 is Baja 1000. I'm ready to do anything I can to pick up another win. So looking forward to that.
I have no doubt in any and all of you gentlemen's capabilities, and everybody that's been on the show here today. Remember, go forward with your best foot. Fish, you got any closing thoughts? It's your show. It's your world. Fishgistics. What has Fish got on his mind?
No, just thanks again for everybody coming on the show. It's awesome that you guys make time out of your day. I know it's a little easier using Zoom. I wish we could do the in-person shows again, though, Cameron. Those were fun at Baja HQ, but now with Zoom, everybody got spoiled, and it takes 5 minutes to come on here. So I don't know, it's the way of the world now. But yeah, no, good luck to everybody at the Baja 500. I'm stoked for the Baja 1000 this year. I know it's going to be a little different, going to Cabo, so that's kind of cool. I know it's going to cost a lot of money for people, so that's not super exciting for some, but it is different. So I think it's cool to mix it up. And yeah, it's going to be a good season. I'm stoked to see Rob and Bryce, in new trucks at some point this season. And can't wait to see those things in the dirt. We'll see if they're how much better they really are, huh?
We're going to find out, that's for sure. And once again, you're mentioning the changing, the idea is something coming at us a little bit different. That's another Jose G. Juan Tintos idea. I think it's cool. Let's have some fun. Let's see something different. Whether it's perfect or not every single time, we're going to find out. But everybody be safe and smart out there. And just remember, we're very fortunate to do what we do. Let's have some fun doing it, and let's high five everyone around us.